Awesome. Happy Monday, Inspire Beauty. I am really excited for tonight's call. But before we get into that, number one, in the chat right now, let's get our hands ready. Okay. Let's get our hands ready to contribute and be a part of this call tonight. Exactly. Jazzies. Thank you, Jen. In the chat, tell us, please, what is your priority in August for your business? And again, this is very personal. So what is it personally that you are prioritizing in your business in August? Put that in the chat. Holly said consistency. Sharing my journey. Christine, routine for Amanda. Growing Eric's Business Center and consistency for Leah, routine for Tiff, consistency for Liv. Keep dropping those in the chat. And then, hey, Sarah, we are saying what is our priority in our business in August? Inviting for Jen, sharing and consistency for Tracy, invites and SC for Annie, Before Growing Hunters account, inviting for Christine, also SC for Chelsea. Hey girl, hey. All right, so on that note, I want you to give yourself a loving gut check on a Monday. How did you honor that last week in the first week of the month? How did you honor that priority in the first week of the month? Let's not wait till August 31st to think about that. Let's do that on the 8th of August so that we can catch ourselves. Because if you did honor it last week, amazing, keep honoring it. This morning on our Team Cup check-in, they were like, what do I do? I've sent the invites. I'm not hearing back. I'm posting the stuff. No one's liking it. What do I do? And I was like, keep going. Keep going, because people are watching to see if you're full of it or not, right? Are you just somebody else on the internet trying to make a buck, right? Or are you somebody who truly has a solution for other people and it truly has passion for what you do? So if you were doing well last week on that, keep going. If last week that wasn't a priority for you, this is your wake-up call right now to do better this week. Do better this week for you, for your family, for your Team Cup team too, right? Okay, I am going to share really quick. We've got Leah and Kristen helping me out tonight. It's a powerhouse call. It really is. They're going to help me out in talking about, success leaves clues. And we want to talk about how to actually hit Success Club like month after month after month. This call idea, this topic was brought to me by Kristen in a heated moment. She came to me in a one-on-one. She's like, I just need to tell you something that's on my heart. And she's like, I heard the Success Club National Wake Up Call right before Summit, and I can't stop thinking about it. I can't stop thinking about why we do what we do and what Success Club actually means. And I know she's going to get into it, and so I'll let her do that. But when she brought this idea to me, I was like, so first of all, when you bring me problems, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to be like, that sounds like a great team call. How are we going to do this? So careful when you bring me a problem, number one. And then, right, Leia's laughing because she knows. And so I was like, well, what do we do? Like, that is a problem, because she was telling me that she felt on her heart that maybe we're asking for too many favors. Like maybe we're missing the point behind the points, maybe it's all about getting Success Club so that we can show everybody that we're hitting Success Club, but we're going bankrupt because we're buying beach bars under Uncle Buck's account. You know what I mean? Like, right? And that's not really how we want to build a business. And I am all for pulling out stops and strategy, and I will happily talk through that with you. But when you find yourself month after month after month phoning in favors, or if you're not there in your business yet, and maybe at some point you start to phone in these favors, I want this call to be like the wake-up call for you. Because I said, Kristen, what's the difference between you and someone else? Because you've been hitting Success Club for 2 years straight. And then Leah didn't even have a choice in the matter, because if Kristen can do it and Leah did it, then like Leah's got to be roped into this call too. I was like, oh no, you're not getting away that easy, Leah. She's got to be a part of the call. And we had to come up with really like 113 months combined. How do we not phone in favors? How are we building communities that are getting results and have people who are being transformed and feeling like they're part of something that they just want to pay forward? How do you do that too? And that's what tonight's all about. But before we even get into that, before I pass the mic, I want to really talk what Success Club is, okay? So that we're all on the same page for Team Cup Month especially, but even beyond, because trust and believe, I need refreshers on this because it's constantly changing. So I'm giving you the most up-to-date version of how to hit Success Club. The bottom line is you're helping 3, okay? The Success Club happens when you hit 5, but more often than not, you'll probably hit something like 6 because usually your points come in pairs. Okay, for every one person or one pack, I should say, is usually 2 points. Okay, but Success Club is in any month when you help at least 3 people connect to key Beachbody solutions. The reason Beachbody On Demand by itself is not worth SC points yet is that we as a community don't see Beachbody On Demand as a key solution. I want you to really absorb that for a second. I know that if I only had Beachbody On Demand and I wasn't plugged into supplements and I wasn't really plugged into the community, I would be missing an entire world of where I'm finding success. And same for you. And so I think a lot of times I know people are going to push back. I know people are going to talk about only wanting bod. I get it, but I'm doing you a disservice when that happens, right? So I want you to know that these are what Beachbody proves as their key solutions for people to get results, which is really what we want to do, right? So you connect at least 3 people, and that will help you earn at least 5 Success Club points, meaning you achieve Success Club. That is for the month. Every month we all start over at 0, even the top coach. That's the cool part. Everyone's even playing field. And this doesn't just help you build a foundation of a successful business like we talked about last week, that foundation, that's what we're doing this month, the foundation, but you also get incentives. And so if you're like me and you'll do anything for a tank top, something shady for a bobblehead, hello, right? Then you also get to earn those prizes, incentives, rewards, okay? So there's 2 parts, it's twofold. Part 1 of Success Club is earning the points. So I wanna break down really quick, how do you get points? Total Solution Pack, it's your best bet. It's the easiest option, 2 points. Okay, every time I get Sally started with Shakeology and Beachbody On Demand, 2 points. If she already has if she already has Beachbody On Demand, maybe she's a returning customer, but I'm just getting her set up with, let's say she wants Lift More and some Go and Glow, then I can do a Total Solution Pack where it gets the kit just minus Beachbody On Demand, so it's a little cheaper, right? But it upgrades her, and that's also worth 2 points. So whether or not they have bod, if they already have it, you can still do it as a pack. If they don't have it yet, you can bundle that as a pack as well. 2 points for a Shakeology subscription. Keep in mind, this has to be on HD. So I always tell people, I'm setting you up on a subscription for it. This is an auto renew. Don't worry. I'll touch base with you before it renews. We'll see if you want to switch flavors, change supplements, or where you're at in your journey. Maybe you pause it, push it back. We'll figure that out after you start drinking it, right? That's 2 points. Same for a performance stack, Energize Recover Duo. Okay. Beach bars have to be 3 beach bars. And also, you guys, all of these have to be subscriptions. They have to be on HD. Okay. I had somebody last week buy Shakeology, and it's awesome. I'm so excited that she got back on the wagon, got her Shakeology. She bought it herself and she didn't set it up as HD. So I didn't get the points, and I was like, no points, but it's okay because it's a person, right? And I'm excited for her. And then any combination of subscription products that total 90 PV. So if you combine like Hydrate and a box of beach bars and maybe Energize, I don't know, whatever combo, it has to be at least 90 volume points, and that will count as 1. Again, HD. Okay, they have to be on subscription. And a little new update coming out of Summit, 2 Success Club points if you get First Thing. Now this is already set up on HD. First Thing is a subscription order regardless, okay? So First Thing is 2 points. The combination of First Thing and Last Thing is also 2 points. And I have a little typo here, but you know what I mean. First Thing Total Solution Pack is also 2 Success Club points, okay? Now, if you want 1 Success Club point, you can put Last Thing with something else that totals that 90 PV and it'll count. So let's say a customer doesn't want First Thing, but they do want Last Thing. You could always put Last Thing mixed with a box of beach bars. And then if that's at least 90, I'm not sure off the top of my head if it is, but if it is, then that will give you the 1 SC point if it's on subscription. Any questions on that, drop them in the chat. I know that there's people that can absolutely answer that. If there's anything where you're like, I'm a little confused on this, but that's part 1 is the points. A lot of times we forget and we think that that's the only part of this equation. My friends, it's not. I've seen too many people not hit Success Club over the years, and it really bums me out on the first of the month when they're like, oh, I missed Success Club because I paused my Shakeology, or I missed Success Club because I didn't get my performance stack this month and I got the seasonal Shakeology, right? Like this month is a key month because of the seasonal Shakeology, a lot of times people pause their regular Shakeology and they buy the seasonal flavor, and then they don't have anything on home direct and you don't get Success Club. So this month especially, you have to be aware that part 2 is being a product of the product, okay? So you have to have a personal subscription on your main account for at least 90 PV. What is that? That's your performance stack, that's your Shakeology subscription, or you could have the three carton of beach bars, okay? So it's those two combined. I'm going to take you into my back office here, a little screenshot I did this morning, and I'll show you in real time where I'm at and how I've checked this, because you have the power now to check on this throughout the whole month. You never want to get to the end of the month without really having eyes on your back office and making sure, like, did I actually hit Success Club? Because you might think you did, and then you're like, oh wait, I didn't, right? And I've seen that glitch happen. So here's my back office. When you log in, it'll say my dashboard. And if you click on Success Club here, this third tab down, it'll take you to a screen that looks like this. You can see I am not qualified for Success Club yet, okay? You can see that I have 4 points. And if I hit this plus sign, which I can't do right now because I'm not actually on the page, this is a screenshot, but if you hit the plus sign, it'll expand it and it will show you where those 4 points came from. This is important because you want to know where your points are coming from, because what if Sally said that she bought a challenge pack and you're like, yeah, Sally, pumped. And then you never do your due diligence and look, and you see that Sally actually is never showing up here as purchasing that. And maybe her order went to another coach that she was previously connected to, right? You never know. So you have to have your eyes on your back office for this. You can see right here, I have 4 points. So achieved says no. The second I get that 5th point or 6 points or whatever that sets me over 5, this will change to say yes. It'll be green and it'll say yes. Okay. The other part, my total personal subscription of 90 PV, right now my value is at 0. That's because my home direct has not shipped yet. It's going to be maybe later this week, I think, is my stack. Okay. So you can see there, it says, no, I haven't. This is the one you've got to keep your eyes on, because I've seen a lot of people, like I say, get points here and have that yes, and they forget. Y'all, the 2 ladies who are co-leading this with me tonight, who are like gold coming in on a Monday, are even raising their hand saying, been there, done that, right? So success leaves clues, but as we're reading in our book, Failing Forward, failure also leaves clues, right? So don't do what we've done, which is you totally like pause your order and then you don't achieve Success Club. And this will turn from not qualified to qualified, and it'll say like SC5 or SC10, depending on which one you get. Same thing here, you can expand that and see, and then you can also see your like performance history for the year. So that's how you check it in your back office. And I wanted to teach you that because that's going to be super essential this month as you take ownership of your business. Now I'm going to pass the mic over to Kristen. She's going to kick this off for us, but that's the theme tonight, you guys. Under everything you hear, I hope you hear the word ownership, because everything we're going to tell you, it comes down to them owning that part of their business. So lean in, take notes. Kristen, I'm going to mute myself and pass it over to you, sis. Give us what you got.
Hey, ladies. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay. I'm like kind of weirded out because I'm still at work and I'm like out of my normal comfort zone of at home. So I'm super excited to be talking to you guys about this tonight, because like Britt said, like it's just been really something that's been on my heart since Michael Neiman did the national wake up call, like July 4th, I think it was, like on July 4th. So, and then it just kind of like snowballed once we were at Summit and going forward. So I have 5 things that I'm going to share with you guys tonight that, looking back on my journey of hitting Success Club, I feel like have been some of the key things to help me continue with the consistency. So the first thing that I want to talk about is belief. And I know that we talk about belief like in ourselves a lot, but I kind of want to like almost reverse engineer that, because sometimes it takes a while for us to get that belief in ourselves, right? That we can actually help somebody, that we can actually coach somebody, that we know how to set up a share cart, like those little pieces, right? Like sometimes that belief takes a while, but I want us to look at the belief we have in the workouts. So who here has seen a physical transformation using Beachbody on-demand workouts? Raise your hand. Okay, pretty much all of us. How about, has anybody seen a huge transformation in your body with the use of these supplements? Have they helped you in some way? All of us. Has being a part of this community helped your mindset, helped you become a different person that you never thought you maybe would have become without this community? That's a lot of belief that you guys have in those things right there. It's more than just the workouts. It's the products. It's this community. If you don't have belief in yourself yet, speak to these things, because it's just like Britt has said multiple times, like if somebody asked you where you got your shirt that you're wearing that day, you'd be like, no problem. Like it's on Amazon, right? Like my mouth is never closed when somebody is coming to me with a workout or a fitness problem or a nutrition problem. My mouth immediately is like, have you heard of Beachbody? And they're probably like, oh God, here's this girl, you know? But I love it so much that that is like the first thing that I think of. Today, I'm sitting here in this office and I'm doing procedure calls to like educate patients on what they're coming in for. And this one lady, I had to like close my mouth because she was telling me about all these problems she has with her gut. And I was just like, oh my God. Like, so I, asked her some questions, but I was like, God, I'm going to go talk to her on Thursday when she comes here, because I'm just so passionate about what these pieces that Beachbody gives us has done for me. And so I feel like from the start, I've led with the belief of these things, not necessarily that I had the belief in myself, but that came along with it as I continued to share about the workouts, about the supplements, and help more people try them, if that makes sense. So belief is huge. And one thing that I'll always do, and like Britt kind of like talked about this with like Beachbody on Demand, and then they're like missing out on that part, right? Like upselling is a huge thing because we know the benefit to it, right? Like we know that they're going to get so much more, even if it's just for a month. They get that access to some added things, to try a new supplement. They get our community. But now, you guys, it's even more so because with the prices of things going up, like why not get the package? It's like $30 more. Like that's how I helped my first person this month. She only wanted BOD, and I dug into it a little bit deeper. And I was like, tell me more about it, and I found out what really was the gut problem that she was trying to solve. And she's going through some really hard times. And I'm like, you need this community. And so she was like, oh, for a package for that? Like, yeah, I'll do it. So like always start big, have that belief in the package, because that's why you guys are all here. You love the product, you love the workouts, and you love this community. And the package is the only way that they're going to get all of that stuff. So start with that. Lead with the belief in the things to help grow the belief within yourself. Okay. So that's my point number one. Number two, I own my business. I own the action that I take every day, every week, how I show up. I am not perfect. I don't get it right all the time. You all know me. I hate posting on social media, but I will share my stories, and I am always in there. So my business activity tracker, it doesn't look perfect every day, because on days like this, when I'm at work, like it's hard to get all those boxes checked, right? But that's why it's a tool. It's a tool to help you see what you're doing well and where you need to improve. The goal is never to have all of those boxes like checked off and say that you're perfect and then not have a business to show for it, right? The point of it is to grow from that and to use it as a tool. But I take ownership in the things that I do and the things that I don't do as well, because it's helped me grow over these last 2 years. So own the actions that you're taking, but also own the actions that you're not taking, and give yourself that gut check of, okay, you know what? Like it's been 3 weeks now that I've really kind of like pushed aside the invites. I need to focus on that no matter how hard it is to rip that Band-Aid. Or, maybe it's personal development, like maybe you haven't picked up a book yet. Like maybe that's going to be your focus. Whatever that is, own what you're not doing and focus on that, because that's where you're really going to see growth. Once you get outside of that comfort zone, we all know that. That's where you're going to see growth. Number 3 is I stay connected. So I'm not somebody who is, going to somebody every month and is like, oh, are you going to join me this month? Are you going to join me this month? Here's my group this month. I kind of I get a feeling for people, have that conversation with them, whether it's in person or, via social media, however that is, but you can kind of gain where they're at. Right. And so if they tell me no, I'm good. I think I've got a good routine. All I do then in a month or 2 is I just check back in on that routine. I'm not throwing in their face, I've got this group that I think you need to be a part of. I'm just literally trying to be a friend and checking in on their journey. And I stay connected with them. Sometimes that just looks like going to their Facebook page or their Instagram page and just seeing what they're up to and commenting and loving on their stuff. But in some way, I'm always staying connected with these people. And even the people that will leave you, because people will walk away, but they will come back. This girl that I signed up this month already, she was a customer of mine when I started 3 years ago. And you know what? She came back to me. So leave that door open. That door, it never closes. It may for a time being, but leave that door open and always just stay connecting with them, see where they're at in life, how things are going. Just be their friend. Stay connected. Number 4, because of all of those things that I do, I stay connected. I have belief in all these products. I own what I do and don't do in my business. People trust me. They see me constantly showing up. They see my love for the products and the workouts and this community. So they trust me. They know that they can come to me. And that when I come to them, if it is to ask for a friendly favor or just to invite them to a group, they're not thinking that it's icky because they trust me. So you have to gain their trust. And the last thing, I'm going to call it this is my national wake-up call speech, but my superpower is showing up no matter what. I've showed up through COVID. I've showed up through bilateral bicep tendonitis. I showed up through my car accident this last year. I will always show up because I know what movement can do for your body. And I know what self-care in this community can do when you are at your lowest of lows. And I share that. I share it to the comfort level of myself. I don't share really a deep dive usually, if you've seen, but I do share and I keep them in the loop. I don't disappear for weeks at a time and come back and everything is fine, but I show up in the moment. And I think that that's huge because when we come and go, that's where we waver, and that's where people waver then too with us. And that's where we lose that trust. So we need to show up, whatever you're going through, and share as much as you want to be vulnerable about. It doesn't have to be everything, but share something so that they feel they're they know you. You want them to know you as a coach, just like you want to know them as your client, right? So you got to share that stuff. So always show up. And then just the last couple of things of gut checks, food for thought kind of thing. Just like we say, diamond and emerald, it's all a decision. It's a decision to hit Success Club. Again, it's owning the actions that you're doing and those that you're not doing. But hitting Success Club it's more than wanting the trip. It's more than just getting 3 people a month. People are, yes, they're numbers, but they're people. And you want them to join your circle, right? That's why you joined this community, so that you could build your own circle, right? Build your own community. It's building the life you want. It's helping others become healthier and happier, just like you are. So really, if you're wanting this for the trip itself, then we're missing the point. It's not about that. It's not about earning that trip for your family if it's just about seeing points on the board. You want to see this community grow with you as you continue to grow, so that you have something else to share with them. So your gut check, I guess, really is like, why are you wanting to hit Success Club? Like, what is that driving factor? And I'm going to pass it to Leah.
Girl, I just want to say hallelujah, amen, preach it from the rooftops, ditto, everything she just said. I know I was in the chat, but I am over here. I don't know about y'all, but I am 1 month behind her in consecutively hitting this, but I'm over here scribbling notes with everything she's saying. I am going to probably circle back on several things she said because they are on my heart. Let's talk building trust for a second. I hit diamond before Kristen did. And then my life started falling apart and I leaned out of the community. If y'all have been on any of these team calls, you've heard my story. You know, I don't need to go into that. You want to know more about it, message me. I'll Zoom with you one-on-one. I leaned out. Well, I didn't just lean out of this community. I leaned out of this community because I didn't really think I needed it. I showed up every day in the sisterhood as one of Britt's challengers. I logged my workouts. I logged my shake. I cheered everybody on like I still do that y'all see right now. I was a challenger. I lost my diamond in Beachbody's eyes as far as a paid rank. I am a lifetime diamond, but I was not a paid diamond. I was a paid coach. And that was before PC. Otherwise, I would have been reclassified. I had to rebuild my trust with a lot of those people who helped me earn my diamond the first time. I had to rebuild that trust with those who hadn't watched my story or who had, but didn't quite see me showing up the way they had seen me showing up before. So if you get anything from this call, keep leaning in, keep showing up. Rebuilding trust is a lot harder than building trust. So they knew I was still on my journey personally, but why on earth would they want to join me if I hadn't been showing up for them? Well, it took that call from Kristen. I then decided when I was going to join Team Cup, FYI, side note, that was this month, 2 years ago. So this is my coach anniversary to lean back in, is what I look at it as, is this month. And I pulled my people from Britt's bod group. I didn't pull them. I told them I am opening my own bod group. I need to own my business. I need for you to see I am serious about this. You absolutely can stay in her bod group. Y'all know we could be in as many bod groups as we want. And some chose to stay there and also join me. Some left her group and came back with me. What I showed them was that I was here and I was here to stay, because while I did still have girlfriends, I did still have a community, I did still have support systems, I didn't have this. And this is gold. This you can't find anywhere else. And that was missing from my life. It was missing from my life on a lot of different levels. So once you are becoming that professional friend maker, stay there. Keep building, keep showing up. I listened, in case you can't tell, to my girl Keisha right before this call, because I was going to make a spicy margarita, but instead I got another shot of Energize because I'm fired up about this call. This is when they came to me with this. If you know me also, I was overthinking everything. Okay, but what am I going to say? What are they going to learn from me? I don't know what to talk about. And Britt, even today, a couple hours ago, was like, you already know everything to say. Something that is also deep on my heart is that I like people to hear my voice, because when they hear my voice, they hear my heart. They hear my passion. They hear my fire. They hear my belief in them. If you are on my Team Cup team, you know I have been breathing belief into you since before August 1st. Sarah's not even on Team Good Vibes, but I have been breathing belief into her since before August 1st. We are a team and we're firing each other up. And that to me is one of my superpowers, is breathing belief into others, cheering you on, reminding me who you are, because I see it. I see it in every box I'm looking at, even the black boxes with names right now. I'm looking right at you because I know who you are and I believe in you. So if you have that moment of not believing in yourself, reach out to one of us. Reach out to somebody that you know will look right back at you and remind you who you are, because people are watching and each and every one of you matter. My voice. If you're just talking or showing up in your stories, you're missing a whole nother audience out there, because some people aren't watching stories or listening to stories. If you don't have captions on, you're missing a whole nother set of people, because people are watching stories without their volume because they're watching at work or they're watching when they're on TV or vegging on the couch. So if you aren't using your captions, Christine, I'm shouting you out, girl, because you just started doing that a couple days ago and I'm so proud of you. But let's go back to stories. I kind of zigzagged there for a second. If you are only in your stories, I think you're hiding. And hear my heart when I say this, because I love each and every one of you, but our stories disappear after 24 hours. And I really didn't think about that until I was talking to somebody today. If I'm not posting and I'm just in my stories and 24 hours, that goes away. Joe Blow doesn't know what I did yesterday. They don't know what I did on Friday. But if I post about it and I talk about it, that's a permanent diary right there. So if you believe in this company, if you believe in this community, if you believe in that recover or that recharge because you're waking up the next day not as sore as you thought you would be and you're able to wash your hair, talk about it. Share a recipe, bring value. Talk about those things, but put it in your feed. I challenged my Team Cup this weekend. I went and I looked at everybody's social media, and there were 2 of us that had consistently posted in the last week. 2 out of 5, that's not even half. So I challenged them. What's your next post going to be like? People are watching. And if you aren't right there and they aren't seeing it, are you really there? I don't know if I would want to join you. I mean, I know you. But if you're on your journey like that, they might be questioning too. So share what you, and it doesn't have to be a novel. I just did a reel this afternoon about forgetting everything. I thought, you know what? People are always watching to see what workout I'm doing or whatever. You see all the people watching. I totally made fun of myself. Do something fun and silly. Nicolette is awesome at fun reels. I love when I see she's posted a new reel. I turn that volume up and I listen and I watch. I laugh, I smile, I shake my head. Last thing I'm going to touch on is excuses. We all have them. We all know we do. One thing I said to Britt this afternoon as I was talking to her was, as I was talking to her about something else, it all started coming into my head. I'm at a new level. So you guessed it, there's a new devil. And those excuses creep in on me every single flipping day. And it's whether I choose to show up and own my business the way I want it to be run, just like Kristen said, owning my actions, but owning the actions that I also don't take. I think those gut checks are really more important than the actions you do take. It's just like when we show up on the good days The days that matter more are when we show up on the bad days and the hard days, and we're real with people and we talk to them about life. Again, like Kristen said, it's your life, it's your story. We're not telling you what to share. But what we're trying to remind you is that there are other women out there who will be able to relate to you. And that's where you're going to build those relationships and that trust. So, are you going to keep with the excuses? Or is there going to be that day you wake up and that excuse you've been making becomes the reason why you actually show up? So think about that one again. There's excuses, but are you ready to flip your excuse into the reason why you show up instead of the reason why you don't? Okay, Britt.
Well, I don't know if I have much value to share after all that, you guys. That pretty much sums it up. I told both of them when we dragged Leah, well, when I forced Kristen upon this topic, as she was just venting, and I was like, cool, make it a team call. And then we forced Leah to join forces when she really had no say in the matter. I told them, they gave me a solid list of why they've hit Success Club for 2+ years or so. And I was like, that's nice. It's not spicy enough. I was like, I want you to I want you to punch him in the ever-loving throat tonight, in a good way, right? Of course. But everything they've said is, as I was talking to Leah earlier today, I had a light bulb moment because I realized that this call is not us talking at you with 10 tips to hit Success Club forevermore. And you just go and you do this 10-step process and, here it is, I should do it, plug and chuck. It wasn't that. To me, this call is, Leah's had 24 months of sawing through the weeds, right? Kristen's had 25 months of hacking the weeds, right? I've had many months of hacking down the weeds. And this is our chance to be like, we came up with a lot of things along the way that didn't work so well. And here we are tonight to teach you what we've learned from those missteps, what we've learned from the failed attempts, what we've learned from missing the mark, right? And so it's a come with me kind of call tonight. Like we're clearing the path, and you're still going to get whacked in the face with a branch. Like, I promise you that. This is not a fully cleared path where you're gonna be like, easy breezy, thanks for clearing it, Britt. But I want you to know that it's safe. We've made it this far with bruises and cuts and scrapes, and we're stronger and we're more equipped, and we've helped more people than we probably ever thought we could when we first started. I know, at least for me, I'm like, wow, Britt, you really did that, and I'm still not done. I still feel like I'm at the beginning of my business, truly. So tonight, my job to wrap us up is to continue being spicy. But I have two kind of zones that I want to hang out in. One is this idea that to hit Success Club over and over and over again, and to not feel like you're constantly calling Aunt Becky to buy some beach bars. To me, I've got like a twofer. I think it's an inside job. We're going to talk about that. I think it's an inside job, but I also think that there's outside action. So it's this combination of the inside job that I've worked on for many years now, coupled with the outside external action that I'm taking, positive outside action, the kind of outside action that's going to lead me closer to those goals, right? That I think if you can really get a grasp on that, it's going to change everything. So the first thing I want to tell you is that I've never watched a coach quit. I've never seen a challenger quit when they're in a strong place in their journey. When I have a coach hit Success Club and they're on top of the moon and they're rank advancing, they don't usually reach out to me the next morning like, well, Britt, I did it. I'm out. I think I'm done as a coach. It's the opposite. It's when they don't hit the Success Club. It's when they don't hit the rank. It's when things aren't going their way. That's when we start to talk ourselves out of things. And the same thing applies for our challengers. I see it time and time again. When my challengers are on their journey and like feeling so good, and you've been there too. So think about it. Think of the last time you were like so proud of yourself and just so like alive from your journey, were you gonna like wake up tomorrow and just not do it anymore? No, right? It's when we're like not in a good headspace that we start to make decisions based on our circumstance. So I want to start with that people don't quit when they're in a strong place. So if you feel your mindset slipping, if you feel like that self-talk isn't going in the right direction, that's an inside job and it's on you. Today, so funny. This is not planned. I had no planning of this, but I have to tell you this story. I like a Magoo. I don't know why I thought this would be a good idea because it's way too hot here. But I wanted to take my afternoon walk and break up my day. And I thought today, you know what, Britt? It's hot. You're hot. Let's go for it. Every 5 minutes, you're going to run for 5 minutes. You're going to do a 5 on, 5 off. You're going to walk, run, 5 on, 5 off. I don't know why I thought that was a great idea. I'm literally sitting here so thirsty as I'm talking because I'm like sweat out everything I have in me. But as I was on this terrible walk run today, like what I was thinking, I don't know, I should have just walked, but it's okay. One of my neighbors was outside. And my neighbors like to make fun of me because they're like, I don't understand why you always are walking in the heat of the day. Like there's other times you can do this, but whatever, it's me. So my neighbor though, she was like, it's a never ending job, right? And in my head, I was like, I hate you. I hate me. I don't know what I'm doing out here. But what I really wanted to ask was like health? Like, are you talking about health is like a never ending job? And I said, but I looked in her hands before I opened my mouth and I noticed she had weeds. She had a lot of weeds in her hand. And I was like, oh, the weeds? And she's like, yeah. And I said, I know, solidarity, home ownership, adult stuff, right? And I kept going, whatever, we had a moment. I kept going and I thought about it because you can't say something to me without me turning it into a lesson, of course. And I thought about it and I was like, it's a never ending job pulling weeds. And some of us read Jordan Lee Dooley's book, Embrace Your Almost. And she told a story about pulling weeds in that book. And I was thinking back to her story and I was like, it's like your mindset. Because you don't get to read one book or wake up one morning and journal and think you're good for the rest of your life. It's a never ending job. And so this inside job that I'm talking about, it didn't start my business. And then I had to just I could set it aside. It's why you still see me showing up and doing book clubs now, because the inside job is never ending for me. I'm always out there pulling the weeds that are trying to take root in my life to destroy the direction God has me going. Always, 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 always. So I want you to ask yourself really quick, just take a moment and I want you to consider, how do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as somebody who could maybe, just maybe, be successful at this? Do you see yourself as somebody who you were inspired by somebody, whether it was at Summit or on a call or on social media, and at some point you thought, wow, if she could do it, maybe me? Do you see yourself that way? Or do you see yourself as the person who maybe it's not for me? Because how you see yourself matters. Oh my word, it matters. Now, I don't believe it, just like Kristen said, I've not always believed in myself 150%, right? More often than not, I probably lack belief in myself, but the way I see myself, I see that I'm capable, right? And do you see yourself that way? Because if you don't see yourself as capable, it starts there. It starts there. Because, and this is something I'm going to speak to the leaders on too, how you see yourself as you're growing those teams. So those of you you've been building your community in 2022, you've been building your team in 2022, and you're starting to have some momentum in 2022, your people are watching to see how you view yourself, because they will piggyback off of that. And if you as a leader don't see yourself as capable, your people never will. They'll do a fraction of what you do, my friends. They'll do a fraction of what you do. The other thing that I know is that how I view myself matters, because when there is silence, it's up to me to fill in the narrative, right? And let me explain what I mean by this. When there's silence in my business, for example, let's say I reach out to Becky and Becky doesn't reply. in that space, because there will be silence. There will be silence and space in your business where you have an opportunity to talk to yourself. And in that space, what do you fill it with? Do you say, I am not a good coach? I'm not inspiring. I'm not doing this right. Do you fill it with, they must not want to join me? They must be annoyed by me? Or do you fill it with like, I am so proud that I sent this message today because that was scary. I am so excited for this community I'm building and I hope she says yes. I know that I have a future in this and this is a stepping stone to get there. What are you filling the silence with? Because a lot of times the narrative you're filling it with is not factual, my friends. And this is why I'm saying it's an inside job. Every day, it's an inside job. I think I've beat that one enough. You guys want me to keep talking about that? But seriously, this is where personal development becomes so personal. And when I say personal and we're talking about ownership, I don't just mean like personal, like pick out what you need to work on. Like, no, it's on you. Either you want to live in that miserable place of your life or you want to change. You know what I'm saying? Like you either want to be the victim of your circumstance and be like, well, I'm always depressed, or you're going to be like, no, I'm so effing sick of being depressed and this is not how life should be. I'm going to work on it. It's an inside job. No one is coming to save me. No one is coming to save you. And that's the fire that drew a line in the sand for me in my business when I said, no more. I will never again not hit Success Club because I have to take full on ownership of this. And it starts with me and it starts in here. Yeah. Number 2 is the positive outside action. So the inside job, it's on you. How you see yourself matters. How are you filling that quiet space? But the positive outside action pairs with this. And I looked back, you guys are gonna, again, think I'm a Magoo. But I got my very first notebook out from my very first Beachbody notebook out. Yes, I still have it 9 years later. Why? I don't know. I tell Charlie all the time, I feel like Anne Frank a little bit. Like if I were to die, there'd be like an archive of like all my innermost thoughts, you know? And so I love like saving it, right? You'd be like, oh my gosh, my name, that was when her name. Fun fact, I think I'm pretty sure I reached out to Kristen one time when I found like, she hadn't joined me yet and her name was like on my invite list of an old notebook. And I was like, Kristen, look, like an archive of like before you were even here, you know, how cool is that to look back? But I found a fun artifact here. This was from November 29th. I want you to know that I started at the top of October and it took me 2 months almost to make a list. It took me 2 months to make a list. My coach told me to make a list the day I signed up as a coach. 2 months later, I finally listened to her. So if you're in that boat tonight and you're like, man, there's something my coach has told me to do, or there's something I heard on this team call that I know I'm supposed to do, but I haven't done it yet. I want you to know that you can still be successful, but just like go do it, right? Don't wait 2 months like Brittany. And in my mind, I really thought this list was way more exhaustive. When I've trained you guys before, I'm talking about it and it's not in front of me. I'm like, guys, my very first free group, I made a list of like everybody I knew in the entire world. Like, go, just make a big list. What's the problem? And then I looked at my list and I was like, well, it's not that big. It's not that big, but it was my start. And I look at this list and I look at the people and I look at the group. And so the positive outside action that I want to talk to you about is paired with what you're hosting and who you're inviting. When I was not hitting Success Club consistently, I wasn't hosting groups consistently. Back in the day, I used to host groups on Facebook, and every month it would be a new theme. So I'd call it something like strong summer, or I'd call it self-love boot camp, or I even called one shake and smile. It was like positive stuff in Shakeology. That's all it was. I don't know. One was like clean eating boot camp. Like I just called them things. Okay. No one told me what to call it. I called them something. But whenever I did not have a group on Facebook, I wasn't hitting Success Club. I actually went back today because I was like, let me go back in the archive and like find my old groups. Right. And there were none in the archives of that time because I wasn't hitting SC consistently, and it mirrors it. I didn't have a group. part of my day, I know I come on the collab and I share with you guys like what I'm doing each day, but it's kind of a dirty lie. And I'm really sorry that I lie to you every day. I'm just trying to make it simple. But there's a part of my day that is dedicated to being creative and getting excited about what I have to offer to serve people. So I don't usually come in and tell you about that part of my day because that's not the needle moving stuff. But here on this call, you get like the real ins and outs of it. I have set parts of my day where I'm creating content for my group, where I'm creating graphics, where I'm creating things for people, an Instagram story tracker or a meal plan or whatever. Part of my day has always been planning and preparing for my groups. And the reason why is, number one, it makes me very excited because when it's mine and I'm prepping it, like I'm excited to share it. I want this to get in someone's hands. So I get very excited. But the other part is that it becomes my job to get people in there. And so often I hear, well, I don't have enough people to start my own group. Baloney, malarkey, okay? Because when I went back and I looked at the archives of these old Facebook groups from back in the day, there were maybe 3 people in some, 4 in some, most all of them, and I'm going to spare you the really sad, glance at it tonight, but it's kind of humorous. Most of them, there weren't any, there was no engagement. Like people didn't even like what I was saying that day. And what was actually really interesting to me when I went back is I wasn't sharing my journey on there. I just came in with like my inspo post, but there wasn't like Brittany, like her workout post. So even seeing my evolution as a coach, like that, it's important that I show up daily because that's probably why my people weren't showing up daily, right? It's because like Coach Brittany wasn't even doing it. But groups are a part of it and getting excited about my groups. So maybe this is your call tonight that you're like, I gotta like create the community that I crave. Go on with your bad self, please do. And then the second part of that positive daily action, getting excited about a group, creating that group, like the whole field of dreams. If you build it, they will come, right? I'm not going to ask people to buy coffee from a Starbucks if I don't have the physical location open. I'm going to open the store, then I'm going to get the people in the doors, right? So our business is like that. But the second half is the inviting part. And I wrote it down here that truly, especially getting to Diamond, when I look back, getting to Diamond, you won't see, I'm looking around at this screen right now. No, none of you were here. Or maybe you were, but maybe you were a coach. I don't think anybody was though. None of you guys were a part of the foundation of this team because the foundation of this team, it was like people I went to high school with and maybe college with, and maybe like I performed with when I was dancing. And so they were like people I knew in real life. And they took me through a season where I got confident as a coach. And now I'm looking and like a lot of the people that I see that are my specific personally sponsored people came through the internet. But I want you to know that that's not at all how my business started. And that's not where yours is going to start either. Some of us are like, let me just ask all the strangers on the internet because it's like more comfy. Like I don't have to worry so much when they like hate me or unfriend me because I don't even know them in real life. It's scarier to ask the person that you're friends with, right? But that's not how it started. And so if you're comparing, you're like, well, Brittany, like I met Brittany as a internet like person. Maybe I can find people. That didn't happen, you guys, until probably after I hit 2-star. Probably until after I hit 2-star. Are you hearing me? Right? Like some of y'all have a significant leap of just like inviting your in real life people to form a community to help you gain confidence and practice. Thank God I started with people who loved me anyway, because I sucked. You know what I'm saying? Like the people I started with, they loved me anyway. If Jen came in as I was a brand new coach and she was like, really, this is what you're advertising? Jen would be out. She'd be like, this is not what your brochure says, girlfriend. I'm out, right? But I started with people that loved me anyway and helped me grow confidence in myself, but also helped me learn the skills necessary so I could get better at my craft. I owe a fruit basket to a lot of the people who started with me. Truly, I do. And I look back at this too, because there's some like, this is mixture of like coaching stuff. It's just so funny. It's a mix, like, here's my Thanksgiving grocery list. Then this was like the list that I was all over the place. And then the team call note. And then I had like stuff for like, it's all over the place. Other people even wrote in my notebook. It's a mess. But in there, I noticed a theme. And I wanna wrap up with this. I never hid behind my challenge groups. I invited to challenge groups, but I always had an invite list of coaches. I always had a dream team list of people that I wanted to build this business with me. Hear me now. You will never build this business without a team. You have to have coaches in order to build the business. Otherwise, you are just a used salesman, used car salesman. You know what I'm saying? Because you're trying to just like sling packs and earn commission. And this business, truly, the financial blessings and the rank blessings and all those things, the community that you're seeing right here, it comes with the coaching opportunity. And I was nervous as I'll get out to invite people to coaching. And I even pulled up a couple like scripts that like, I was like, how did I even invite people? Y'all, it was bad, like bad. I'm pretty sure the way I described coaching was like, I love, and I'm going to say it probably how it sounded. I love coaching because it helps me build relationships with people and I love it. Would you like to get on a call tonight? I swear that's probably how it came off. I don't know. And people still get on the calls. That's the cool part. People still get on the calls. But I want you to know that that was always a part of my list, was not just, Leah said, some of y'all are hiding behind your stories. Some of y'all are hiding behind challenge groups. Right? And so to talk to people about what coaching is for you, it's a different level of being serious, because now you're like, this is a bigger layer of the business. And so I wanted to make sure that I said that, because my initial days of Success Club were not driven only on building a BOD group community, but building a team of people who loved Beachbody, who loved coaching, right? Like it was a mixture of everything. It wasn't just focused only in one category. I hate doing notes, y'all. You kill me when these kinds of calls kill me, because I hate notes and like a good PowerPoint. I'm hoping I didn't miss anything. The last thing though is that's been on my heart lately. You know, I started by saying how you see yourself matters, and how do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as capable? Do you see yourself as somebody who could do this? And when I look at the screen and I look at everybody in your unique positions in life, I'm not in a single one of your shoes. I can't tell the story that you can tell in this exact moment in time with the life experience you've had to get you to this moment and what you want to do to go on. I can't do that. That's the beautiful part about collaborating as coaches, is you guys get to extend the reach in ways I cannot and probably will never do. And so something that I keep thinking of is a lot of times we think like, when I get to this moment, you know, when the kids are back in school, I'll be able to. When, you know, when I'm, and this is no slam on any particular person. I just want, you know, I'm not like singling somebody out. These are just things I've noticed over the years, right? When I'm not pregnant, I'll dive in. When I'm pregnant, I'll dive in. When I'm done building the house, I'll move in. When I'm done moving, I'll build in. After the funeral, I'll dive in. When things settle down, right? It's always that. But the thing is, life is happening right now. And if I wrote this in the collab the other day, but I want to end it with this. If not you, who? Who's going to tell that story if it's not you? And if not now, when will you ever get the opportunity to do it again? If you're waiting, like, you know, okay, I know I want to tell the story of what it's like to be a brand new mom and juggle all these new things. And it's really hard. And I am like, I don't even know, but I'll wait. I'll wait until things have settled down and I can have a better grasp with my words. But you've missed the moment. You're out of that season. The place you're in right now, whether it is an awesome mountaintop or a deep valley, you are in and you will never have back. And the lessons here are only told and taught by you. So if not you, who's going to tell it? And if not now, when? If you don't invite the people, who's going to invite them? If you don't build the BOD group, who's going to do it? If you don't do it now, when are you going to do it? Right? coming off of Summit Team Cup month is the month to do it. So if there's ever been a month to like do it, it's now. You know what I'm saying? So I want that to like stick to your brain. If it's not you, who's going to do it? And if it's not now, when would you do it? And let that motivate those actions. Ladies, I am so grateful for Kristen and for Leah for being an example in this community of consistency. There's a lot of words in our society today, you guys, that people throw around as compliments. And I don't think consistency is one of them. That's not usually a compliment, like, oh, you're so consistent. But I think it's a beautiful compliment. I love their consistency. I love their hearts to serve. I am grateful that on a call like this, I don't have to be like, come on, guys, like, see, I did it. No, guys, look, see, we did it. We did it. And I believe the same is possible for you too. So I hope tonight had value. I hope it had so much value for you guys.